Hi, it's Reasonable Reviewer, and I wanted to do a review today of this fine Kickstarter game that I received through Amazon called Magical Unicorn Quest. And this is, it's by a company called Flame Point Games. And as they tell you right here, it's for 2 to 6 players and it lasts around 20 minutes, ages 8+. I think all of these things are very accurate. An extremely short version of this game, and I'll talk about that in a second, could last, 10 minutes, or it could go 45 minutes, but probably 20 minutes. Probably 20 minutes is the median amount of time. So let's take a look at what comes inside the box. Some of the other reviews, I have the advantage of doing this after some of the other people have done reviews. And they said, hey, it's a big box for such a little thing. Well, guess what? Expansions. You can take this out and you could add other cards, right? Because it turns out that it although it fits in the box like this when it comes, you could put several sets of cards in there. And, bottom line is, everything is explained in the rules. A couple people said, hey, the rules not clear. No, the rules are completely clear, actually. The cards, first of all, you get these, the ones with the white back on it here they are actually play aids that tell you exactly the same thing as in the rules. And what it says is, on your turn, you can search the magical forest. There are 3 steps: draw, action, and end. Draw, at the start of your turn, you draw 1 card from the forest deck, which is just the draw deck. And then you can take an action. You can play at most 1 mystical being card from your hand, 1. You can play it at most 1 mystical potion card from your hand, 1. And you can play any amount of mystical magic cards from your hand. And then you activate the abilities of all the mystic being species in your stable. Now, in the basic version of the game, you just have dwarves, elves, you got the golden unicorn. These are all mystical magic cards, and I'm going to come back to those in a second. And then you got the majestic unicorn. There's not many of them, though. There's 4 of each. Then you got ogres. I guess let me go through and show you all of the, and werewolves. Now, as it turns out, most people are going to want dwarves and elves in their stable of beings, because elves, if you have 1 or more elves from your stable, you may draw a card from the forest deck for each elf you control, maximum of 2. So, if you have more than 1 elf, so you have 1 elf, you can draw 1 card. If you have 2 elves, you can draw 2 cards. If you have 3 elves, you can draw 2 cards. If you have 4 elves, you can draw 2 cards, right? It's all pretty straightforward. It's on the card. If you have 3 or more elves, then you can also search the forest deck for a magical unicorn, reveal it, and add it to your hand. All right, so having 3 elves, super cool. Dwarves, if you have 1 or more dwarves, you can add a non-unicorn mystical being from your hand to your stable. If you have 3 or more dwarves, you can add any amount of mystical beings from your hand to any stable. So in other words, if you had a bunch of werewolves, which do bad things, you could put those in somebody else's hand. If you had a bunch of ogres, you could put those in somebody else's hand, right? So, werewolves, ogres, bad. Dwarves, elves, generally good. When does the game end? The game ends when, ta-da, you've got a majestic and a golden unicorn together in your stable. As soon as that happens, no matter how it happens, no matter whose turn it is on, the game ends and you are victorious. So, these mystical magic things, remember said you could play this at any time and as many as you want on your card. These do things like interrupt. Halts are interrupts. That's what these are. Here you go. Mystical magic. Unicorn thief. Play when a magical unicorn tries to enter a stable and you take it to your stable instead. So that's also an interrupt. All right. So, and the various things have various effects. There's one special rule. Some of these cards let you discard things. If you discard a unicorn, it doesn't go into the discard pile, which can be searched and other things. It goes to the bottom. It goes to the very bottom of the forest pile. Fun game. I would give it 4 stars. It's not a hard thinky game. Clearly there's lots and lots of room to add mystical beings to it. There's lots and lots of room to add mystical potions and mystical magical effects. And in fact, just a quick search on Amazon revealed that, yay, verily, there's another like 3 expansions out already. So for the price, I think this is a lot of fun, especially for the younger, I'm going to say 8 to 12 category folks. If they're not playing, Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, the current version of it, this would be a fun game. And this is also kind of a bridge game too. If you've got folks who may or may not enjoy these kind of games, or that are not necessarily card and board game players, this is a great game to get people involved with the hobby. So, altogether, 4 stars. Thank you very much.